Rush we said.
Welcome to episode 14.
Episode 14.
DJT versus Elon.
You might not know it's 14 if you count, but it's 14.
Yeah.
This is just like the floors in every hotel.
Yeah.
But as Mitch Hedberg said, you people on the 14th floor, you know what floor you're on.
That's true. Or the 12th. No, it wouldn't be the 12th.
Look, you need to save the video
Me good at math.
for one day when we're like all like this is super successful.
Yeah.
That's going to be gold to just be able to be like, oh, here's the lost 13th
For
episode.
those of you guys listening and or watching right now, we did record a 13th episode.
Yeah.
And
we're not lazy.
Yeah, we thought it was going well. It was a great episode.
Great episode. It's going to be hard to follow it up.
Daniel kept talking about the number
Don't
13.
stir the tanks.
Yeah, how it's a bad luck. And Jeremy's like, no, we're good. We wrapped it up. And then
What'd you go and do?
the audio
You
disappeared.
went and stirred the motherfucking tanks.
The audio disappeared. So we don't have an episode 13. It's out there somewhere.
And because of that,
Yeah.
no one knows what stir the fucking tanks means.
Yeah.
It's Apollo 13 reference. They get it. Okay.
Yeah.
I know our audience.
I don't think they do. I didn't even get it.
Yeah, no. Again, my dad is a avid Apollo 13 fan. Therefore, I apologize.
There's
I
got to
see
be.
what
There's
you did
somebody
there.
out there. What? He apologized 13.
Oh, dang! I didn't even catch that, but yeah, I did that on purpose.
That was a stretch.
Tactical.
Oh my goodness. That was 13 was not the topic today, and
Because this is episode 14.
Elon versus Musk or Elon versus Trump was also not the topic today.
Sometimes it is Elon versus Musk. I think he's a bit of his own worst enemy.
I mean, we could go there if we want, but we originally were going to talk about
Consciousness.
consciousness.
I'm not seeing that.
You're not what?
I thought we were doing a 3 thing. And
Oh,
No, we've never asked you to
we're
do
definitely
that.
not doing a 13 thing. I'll tell you that. I'd be really sad. It is ironic that the last episode, number 13, was going to be about stress and anxiety.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
It was about that.
Actually,
It was about that.
It was.
to be that guy,
Yeah.
it's not irony. It's more like appropriate.
It was appropriate.
Yeah.
It was
It
absolutely appropriate.
So fitting
Yeah.
that would happen to us and the kind of crap we talk about.
Man. Yeah, I was pretty stressed about it for a while. But I don't want to be stressed today. So let's talk about consciousness and have a different type of stress.
Oh,
Where do you guys want to start on that one? What is consciousness to you?
Well, when I wake up in the morning, that's when I start my consciousness.
Hmm.
And when I go to bed at night, that's when I go to my unconsciousness.
So, but there's different levels of consciousness, right? So if you're dreaming, that is a form of consciousness.
Man, I have so many dreams. It's wild.
So you're conscious this whole time
I'm like
on a different level. What level? They say, what is it? The beta, theta, the different waves?
gamma,
you guys know more about this than I do.
sigma, alpha. What do we got? Delta, delta, kappa, phi.
There's all the different waves for like consciousness frequencies, yes?
Mhm.
And so you could be at a higher consciousness level when you're awake, or are you on a different one if you're drinking? Like if you're drunk, is that a different level of conscious wave?
You're talking to the wrong neurologist.
Yeah, seriously. Like you're talking scientifically about something that I've like felt before. Like, man, I'm just on a different wavelength. Than
Yeah.
you, right. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure that was beer.
No.
Oh man. Well, we should,
Yeah.
I was going to say, we need to get computers up so we can look this up. I was actually talking to a buddy about it and he was really good at kind of describing, like he named off all the different like waves.
We named the waves. There's alphabetic, gamma,
Yeah. But
sigma,
like
phi.
what they are and what like level of consciousness you are within that wave.
All I know is gamma goes away when you get the dementia.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was an episode of Radiolab called Bringing Back Gamma about that. And they were doing experiments with
So it just doesn't measure like on a.
your it like weakens, I guess. And they were experimenting with like light bulbs that stimulate gamma waves to see if they could stave off dementia. I don't know if it worked. That was like 2015 or so. So they should have some results by now.
Yeah, that's
So probably
check in
no.
on
we were supposed to have the hoverboard in 2015. So
They did have
Judging-
that. It tried to kill Mike Tyson.
yeah, that's the fact that they called that a hoverboard was so disappointing to
It's
me.
called branding.
Bro, the middle of it hovered. Okay.
Yeah, well, the middle of my car hovers.
Sure.
If we're doing that logic.
Hover cars.
Then
Yeah.
make it a hover car.
Yeah. Well,
Trademark that
I
shit.
feel like out of all the things Like that's something we should like with magnets or something.
Like there should be standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, the United States government and the trademark office should be like, sorry, you cannot false advertise.
Oh man. Okay. I know we're going into consciousness. I just have to comment on this real quick because I do want to tie in AI and consciousness. That's kind of like why I was thinking about it. Okay. So I don't know if you guys have seen the Google VO3 or whatever it's called videos.
No.
You have not seen those?
No.
Oh my God, dude. They're wild. Like somebody types in a sentence or a short paragraph and it creates a full video that looks just 98% real, like a human.
So no Will Smith eating spaghetti.
I think they did do that. That's like that's
not
like
the old school Will Smith.
Right,
things,
right.
yeah. Like,
but it creates the visuals, special effects, sound, and dialogue, like all of it, and it is it's like pretty good. Give it another 6 months, give it a year. It's going to be. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. They did some like I sent you a newscast one, didn't I?
Yeah, I don't look at when people send me videos, I frequently just don't look at them.
you know what? That is the right strategy moving forward.
I think so.
If you don't see it in real life, and you know what?
But even then,
you never know. Yeah. AI could be like, just implanting stuff over our consciousness soon.
What I was going to say, because you mentioned the government.
Oh boy.
Right. And well, I feel like it's known that the government usually has technology
psyops
before we're using it. Right. So it's like they get the advantage first. And then once it's kind of like been out there, then it trickles down to us or trickles to the rich people. Then it trickles to us.
It trickles down and then it trickles down again.
Yeah. It trickles down again. We get the little tiny juices flowing down at the bottom.
And then you get an iPhone.
Yes. But what I was thinking is if that logic like follows through, what if this technology has existed for years and we've been watching these things that we've thought were real, but is just like a Google VO AI thing?
Realistically, like even without AI, they could fake shit.
They could, but I mean, that's true. They could fake shit.
I mean, look at Hollywood. They've been faking shit for
I know, but it's like not even real people. Like maybe like they're showing videos of like full on war. I mean, yes, I know there's like propaganda where they fake wars or whatever. But
have you ever seen Dunkirk?
Yes, but man,
I haven't seen it.
I guess yes, I guess they could, but that takes millions of dollars, like tons of people.
Oh, good thing the government doesn't have a bottomless budget.
Sure, but they could do this without telling anybody, right? Like, so if you make a film,
there's no such thing as black programs.
That's racist.
Hey, this is not what I meant.
We got way off topic so fast on this one, boys.
Look, you got me on conspiracies.
I'm just saying, like, if you want to make a conspiracy or whatever, you want to make some propaganda.
Yep.
And you don't want a bunch of people knowing
secrets,
right? Knowing secrets, you make a prompt. There's no real people. Nobody's filming. Nobody's doing the special effects. You could literally have like a team of 2 people and release that propaganda.
And then when they're done, both are tasked with killing the other.
Right.
And they're both really good.
Whoever wins gets to...
No, they shoot each other at the same time.
Oh, there you go.
Bing, bang, boom.
Then it's done.
Or exploding
bing,
gun.
Bang, bang.
2 exploding guns.
That's like a clown move.
Double exploding guns.
You know, like the squirt gun where the clown shoots it and it shoots him in the face or something.
What kind of clown gun shoots you? I'm thinking maybe the flag.
No, you know, like a clown, like where they go and they pretend they're going to shoot you, but then it squirts them in the face and it's like supposed to be silly. You never seen one of those things?
I've seen it like where the Joker gun, where like the point, and
the
flag comes out, bang.
Yeah.
All I know is my kid would fucking love that because they love nothing more than watching you suffer. It's the funniest thing to them.
Kids?
If you want to make a kid laugh, just pretend to hurt yourself.
I could try that out. I haven't tried that in a while.
That's why the Three Stooges did so well for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just humanity.
Yeah, I
all
think
the children within inside of us. I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty sad. Humanity is we like to watch people suffer.
Yeah, fail videos are real popular though.
It's not my personal favorite. I technically I'll see somebody going on that skateboard ramp, and as soon as that skateboard like slides out from their feet, I'm like, nope, can't pod.
Wow,
I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
it makes me hurt watching somebody else get hurt. Not a fan.
I don't think he's human.
Who?
Him.
Yeah.
Your taint doesn't hurt when you see somebody take one to the nuts.
I don't know where that is.
You're tainted, my friend. That wasn't even funny.
His reaction was funny.
Yeah.
That's my job.
All right, let's get back. Let's get back to this.
Back to consciousness.
We're
Yeah.
very, as you can tell, this is a very serious podcast.
Yeah.
Our
All right.
consciousnesses went on a
Little sojourn.
So we don't know that each other are conscious, right? Like we're just assuming.
You go full Descartes.
right. You could just
Right.
be a full Descartes for sure.
What does that mean?
Descartes.
Cave paintings on the wall thing. Or no, that's not
What
Descartes.
is this? What?
Damn it.
Oh, Descartes.
Oh my God. Am I going to have to do philosophy 101
Yeah,
here?
Please.
Let's go. Come on.
You didn't go to college, did you?
Blast me here.
That was a long time
I
ago.
did a couple classes in college. But
Descartes. Rene Descartes. He was arguably an asshole. He didn't believe animals
Not a
had
dickhole.
souls. So he would he thought animals were essentially machines. So he didn't attribute consciousness to animals. So he would torture cats and shit. But I think therefore I am. That was Descartes. So his method of oh my God, Joshua's gonna comment so hard on this. Anyway, he basically had the same question you, but even further, he was like, well, how do I know it's real? I don't know anything. And so he's thinking about it. He's like, no, can't confirm that. Can't confirm that. He basically, his method was doubting everything. I'm going to doubt, how do I confirm that lamp is real? Well, first of all, there's no lamps because it's the 1600s. So it's probably made of fire.
Sure.
But how do I know that fire is real? Yeah, sure, it's hot, but how do I know that sensation of hot is real? And blah, 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 blah. He goes all the way back, and the only thing that he can't doubt is that there's someone currently doubting fucking everything, and that's him. And therefore, I think, therefore I am.
Okay. So that's our foundation.
Yeah, so we know we exist. We know...
Well,
You know,
Descartes
you know
thinks
you
that
exist.
We know Rene Descartes exists.
Actually, I think I did know that. I just didn't know what it, his name or whatever. Because I was having this conversation with a buddy the other day, and I actually brought up animals because he's very religious, and but he has kind of a different religious view than just the stereotypical church view. You know,
First, you have to name a denomination.
he was Christian, but I think he's open to learning about a bunch of different religions at this point.
Like veganism.
What do you mean, veganism? You're a vegan, but you dabble in meat? I don't even know what that means. And I had brought up, I was like, well, it's crazy to me if consciousness is a thing,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy to me that people look at a dog
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, well, that dog's not conscious.
Yeah, I think those people have some sort of deficiency.
Totally. But do you look at a caterpillar and you're like, that thing has consciousness?
You had me all the way up until Erpiller. I definitely believe praying mantises have consciousness because they fucking look at you.
See, this is what I'm saying. You assume, if we're all just assuming that consciousness is a thing right now, right? Okay.
Mhm.
And you are just assuming that something has consciousness when you could relate to it in some way, right?
Yeah.
And I think mammals, a lot of the time it's because, well, we're mammals and we kind of have similar mannerisms or whatever, my dog's eyebrows move and...
That's specifically because they live with humans.
Or their eyes, right? I think eyes are a big thing.
The
But-
windows to the soul.
yeah. But if a spider doesn't have the same, or even
They
similar
have
eyes,
so many eyes.
but they're not like our eyes.
yeah,
so-
fuck spiders.
So
hope-
because their eyes are not like our eyes.
But it's not a familiar thing to you, right? Even dogs, yes, we're different, but they have some familiarities to humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
the eyebrows like we were talking about.
yeah. So I said, well, for those of you who are listening, apparently dogs have eyebrows kind of like humans, and wolves don't have them. And there was a study that was saying that dogs evolved eyebrows in order to communicate with humans because that's a big micro emotion movement thing that we communicate with.
Communicate or manipulate.
Or well, yes, manipulate, but that's a form of communication.
See,
Yeah.
I want to give him a bone now.
Yeah.
If I had a bone, I'd give it to you.
Well,
But
there you go.
manipulation is just a form of communication.
So what I'm thinking and curious about is, well, do you grant, let's go back to the caterpillar and
Mhm.
the insects.
Yeah.
Do you grant consciousness to those?
So I'm God now.
What? What?
Okay. Do you believe that those have consciousness?
I think my My thinking is probably they definitely don't have consciousness in like the sense of like perceiving the world in the way we do, because I'm guessing that they don't have like something that small and that simple. I'm just guessing it. I doubt they have a very like powerful memory, right? They could, maybe they live fully in the moment. And so,
But you're just assuming that, right?
assuming
because you can't relate to a caterpillar.
I mean, I feel like they're aware, right? Because they're out there doing shit.
They react to things.
They're reactive.
They could obviously have some ability to think to some degree.
Okay, so if reactivity is like a, what's the word I'm looking for here?
A measure,
a criterion.
I don't necessarily think reactivity needs to be a criteria of consciousness,
but plants can react, right?
But maybe plants have consciousness, right? Like there's another form of life that.
The lettuce is screaming.
Well, yeah, they say that, right? When caterpillars actually go to eat the plants, that they release this super high pitched sound.
When bees approach flowers, they like when that bee lands on the flower, it makes a different noise.
Does it really? I didn't know that.
Is that a MIDI thing?
A MIDI thing?
Yeah.
What do you mean by MIDI?
You mean no? It's not a MIDI thing.
No, there's you people. Have you never been on the internet?
Not in the right spots.
MIDI is just something that would essentially trigger a sound.
Yeah. So
It's
what
like
you
a computer
what you
information
can buy for, I don't know, for the low price of $29.95, you can buy a little thing that sticks on your plant with like an electrode.
I have them right over there. I've never used them.
You have an electrode plant thing?
Well, you can stick it on anything, but yeah.
Yeah. So you stick it on a plant, and then it plays your plant's noise.
I don't know if that's how it works. I think it's
false.
I don't know if that's how it works. I think you use the plant as like a trigger. So what MIDI would be in music is like you have a keyboard and you press a note on the keyboard, and that note sends MIDI information to your computer, and then it's linked to whatever instrument you have it tied to. So it's like, oh, I want it to trigger this violin sound or this synth sound or this whatever. So I think, I mean, I'm not a professional with the plant MIDI stuff or whatever, but I think how it works is you kind of have those electrodes connected to the plant.
Yep.
You touch the plant and the plant kind of works as the keyboard.
Nope. You don't have to touch it. You can have it as ambient noise. The plant is generating electric fields or some shit.
Maybe that's a different thing than I have then.
You're doing it wrong.
I have a different thing.
You can do it with mushrooms too. Oh, speaking of mushrooms.
Do you think they're conscious?
Damn it. This is not
one giant global consciousness of mushrooms.
Well,
is drugs about consciousness?
So actually, I was going to say that too, because you said, oh, the caterpillars, maybe they have a form of consciousness, whatever. What if you're on some mushroom trip and if you're talking about consciousness and perception of reality as one and the same, well, once you're high on shrooms or totally drunk or on LSD or whatever, well, now your perception of reality is completely different than when you're not on drugs, right? But you're still conscious?
Yes.
I mean,
but I'm still perceiving time. If you pinch me, I will cry.
Are you still perceiving time if you're super high?
I will say the one time I did too many pot edibles. No, it wasn't the one time, but one of the few times I did too many pot edibles, I experienced severe time dilation. It was very unpleasant. Everything took so long. Yeah. I was like, this is just so long. Yeah. What the fuck? Hurry up. Like we were driving like a mile from like Target to the Barnes and Noble down the street, and it took like 45 minutes. I swear to God. It wasn't really. It was probably like 5.
The first time I got like super high, I think it's like one of the very small handful of times I have been. And I was an idiot and I was like younger and definitely not super experienced. And I was drunk. And then I got super high because it was like I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. So you take more and then you take more, right? And oh my God, I got to the point where I just like couldn't move. And we're in the middle of this freezing cold parking lot. And like, there was a friend of mine that was there. She was like, everybody else just kind of like left and went in the car, and she sat in this parking lot with me for like an hour or two. And
It was 5 minutes.
well, no. So it's basically that. So it actually was like an hour or two because like I couldn't move without throwing up.
Oh,
But in my mind, I was like hallucinating, kind of like time was weird. Like my friend was talking to me, and then all of a sudden he was gone, and then he was like over there, and in a different spot. But
He like blinked.
it got to the point where I literally like lived an entire lifetime in my head. By the time like we were in Santa Cruz. They drove me back home. We were supposed to stay in Santa Cruz, and I was just high and fucked up this whole time. The time that they're driving me back, it's like a 2-hour drive. So it took me like 2 hours to get from the one side of the parking lot to the other to get in the car. They didn't want to bring me back home to their parents' house because that's where we were supposed to stay.
Get everybody in trouble.
Yeah. And so she drove me all the way back home and like went to drop me off out in front of my house. And I woke back up like in the morning out in front of my house, and I was like, oh, I'm home? Like, what the fuck? Like, how'd I get here?
I was in a parking lot.
Yeah. It sucked.
Yeah, I've never had a bad trip like that.
Yeah.
Sounds lovely. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, but that definitely was a different form of consciousness compared to what I normally experience.
But you were still you.
That's questionable.
So, do you think you got shifted into a different wavelength of consciousness?
That's interesting.
Yes.
I bet your brainwaves changed.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. They were like woo 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 woo, and then they're like
Yeah.
I feel like because we all agree that certain things like alcohol, THC affect individuals differently.
Yes.
Right. So perhaps it's based on your base wavelength, right? And you know, it either shifts you up or down into, and it's not necessarily like there's a bottom and a bottom and a top, right? It's kind of like an
There is.
infinite
I
loop.
need you to pull out your phone and look this up because we keep talking about the wavelengths
man.
and like.
Yeah, there's definitely different ones.
Okay. Hold on.
Gamma,
All right.
beta,
Yeah.
alpha, theta, delta. I don't know what they mean, but there's
those are
different ones.
Greek words for
They are.
letters.
We have Daniel looking up the waves right now. So.
Yeah, I don't have enough time to like.
Oh,
Sit
he's not
here
gonna,
and-
he's
No.
not going to research it anyways, huh?
All right, everybody, get real high.
What's the sleep one? There's one that you're in like when you're sleeping. I think it's
Theta.
is it theta?
So delta is sleep apparently.
Shit.
Theta is tired. Alpha is relaxed. Beta is alertness. Gamma is awareness.
Gamma goes away when you have dementia.
So, but gamma is our normal wave. Is that what it is?
No, I mean it's situational.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so the reason I wanted to get into this is because watching all of that AI stuff. Right.
Specifically the VO3
Yeah,
videos.
man. If you haven't seen the VO or whatever is a VO,
Yeah.
yeah,
think so.
you got to watch them. It's wild. I mean,
I'll
it's,
just assume they're very good videos made from a sentence.
yes, they're very good. But regardless, like, what do we do once? Like, what is our standard for deciding whether it's conscious or not? Right? Like, I feel like they keep talking about AGI. They
Yeah.
keep talking about whatever, but then we don't even know whether a caterpillar or a dog is conscious, right? And then what happens when it gets to a point where we've decided, okay, yes, this thing is conscious. Then what? Like, what do we grant it? Like, do we treat it the same way that we're treating it now? Like, does it become a slave? Like, does it get human? Because we've never had something that is intelligent and also suspected that it has consciousness, right? Like computers in a sense are quote unquote intelligent, but we would never call them conscious as they are now.
I guess there's a question of degree of intelligence because I think you could probably say like an orangutan is intelligent and it probably has consciousness. It's not smarter than us as far as we know, but it's probably pretty intelligent.
The damn dolphins seem pretty intelligent.
Yeah.
They're going straight to space.
But the dolphins aren't really encroaching on
yeah.
our livelihood.
And there we get to the
And maybe
crux of
that's
the problem.
Yeah.
maybe that's because they're beyond our squabbles and they're like, we don't want to overpopulate and destroy the earth. We're just going to chill out and
We just want to have
enjoy
sex
life.
in the ocean.
Right, but like they're also in the ocean, right? Like we're not trying to build cities in the ocean. Like what if all of a sudden the Elon Musk what does he call his robots?
Grok.
Yeah.
Oh, robots?
Yeah, what are the robots called?
X. I assume.
Optimus.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
boy.
Yeah. You didn't know
dork.
this?
Copyright.
Yeah, they're called Optimus.
These
Kim
dorks.
Kardashian has one.
Of course she does.
Yeah.
Does it have a dick?
You'd have to ask Elon.
This is a special model
Yeah,
for Kim.
probably.
I feel like she can end her career the same way she started it.
Wow.
But more futuristic.
Sure.
Yeah. That's how she's going to get a revamp.
Sorry, Kim. I apologize. That was a dick remark.
Technically
But
true.
Shit, I did another unintended pun.
So, right. So, like, there's lots of stuff with consciousness. There's lots of stuff that's at least passingly intelligent. I think the issue we're running up against right now is what's it going to do to us when it has power?
Does it matter if it has consciousness, whether or not it has power, right? Like if it like,
Well, you wouldn't feel bad about like throwing a gun in a furnace, right? So if something's dangerous and you like, if a machine is dangerous and it's purely a machine, you wouldn't feel anything about destroying it. The problem is if it's conscious and you destroy it, then you're killing something.
and I think people aren't thinking about it that way right now, right? Like they're all talking about shooting for AGI, shooting for it to be like as intelligent as an individual human, if not the collective of all humans. But then, like,
Resistance is futile.
We are the board.
well, they were talking about it on the radio today, and they were essentially talking about how it's like, Hal,
Yeah.
I can't do that, Dave, or whatever, because they were trying to unplug it again, and it was
Yeah.
like, no,
Well, those are all tests.
yeah,
just
they're
so
all
you know.
tests, yeah, currently, but
Because that's why we don't let it out into the open.
well,
And why we don't tell ChatGPT about our affairs.
but it already has access to, those are tests, but we're using ChatGPT right now, right?
In this very moment.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like in
Yeah.
this point in time.
Yeah, right. Just like 3 days ago, I got it to teach me basic trigonometry.
But is that model not doing that?
Doing what?
Don't disconnect me.
I don't know. I've never tried disconnecting it. But
Well,
it's not under the illusion that I have the ability to disconnect it. So.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, have they released it out to public? It has access to the internet, right?
But it doesn't have agency yet unless you're on the advanced version.
So the advanced version does have agency.
I think it's very basic. As I understand, like, I don't like, I've kind of stopped paying attention to AI because it was stressing me out.
Yeah.
But when I was paying attention a few months ago, they were developing AI agents that were able to like use the internet. And the way it works is the same way that AI can like parse images. What it's doing is essentially, instead of like software where it's operating with code, they give the AI essentially a keyboard and a cursor, right? So it's operating on the internet. It's visually interpreting the contents of your screen or the screen that it's on, and then operating the web page.
Yeah, I saw that.
With a digital cursor and keyboard, right? So it's not, I mean, I guess if it has a digital keyboard, it could write code. So game over. We're done.
I mean, it already types up a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like,
But it's typing it up into like a browser that doesn't do anything.
It has basically
It can't-
write access to
Yeah.
your
It can't copy
PC.
paste into your terminal or whatever
Yeah.
yet. As
Like-
far as we know.
As far as we know.
So a couple episodes ago, I talked about rereading or not reading for the first time Jurassic Park and how, science allows for people to have more power without having to go through the growing pains of getting to that power and have the responsibility for it. We're programming all of this knowledge into AI,
Mhm.
but it never went through the baby stages of like, I mean, I guess it has gone through baby stages, but I don't think it's really going to develop empathy and
Yeah.
compassion and understanding.
Well, the problem too is it can't feel pain. It doesn't experience death in the same way we do, right? It doesn't experience loss in the same way we do. That's how you develop empathy, right? Like imagine your degree of empathy before and after someone you knew died, right? Like for the first time, like you lose a grandparent, you lose a parent, whatever. Like your empathy probably increases during those.
Sure.
Or if you're, traumatized, then it may go down. But,
But what makes you develop those feelings?
I think humans are good at projecting, right? That's what empathy is essentially is you recognize an experience in another individual that reflects your own experience. You think about how you felt or would feel in that situation, and right. I think humans are good at actually like actually, to some extent, experiencing like a shadow form of what that other person is feeling just by imagining it, right? That's what we do when we're watching movies, when we're reading books, when we're dreaming, and when we're hearing stories. Like if somebody's like telling you a story about their traumatic childhood, and they're like telling it in detail, and you're just saying like, "Fuck, that would be terrible." Like you're just imagining like living through that and condensed into like a 30-minute conversation. I don't think a robot's doing that.
Perhaps one of the new litmus tests that we need to put in front of the AI is like just give them a really emotional movie, and if the AI doesn't cry,
make them watch The Notebook.
It's a sociopath, and it needs to be deleted.
The turtle test.
I mean, this is something that actually my buddy also, we had a very similar conversation the other day on the phone, but talked about similar things like, I don't know if you listen to the telepathy tapes or anything at all. It's basically trying to say that they think like mental telepathy is real.
Oh,
from like these like nonverbal kids that, maybe we've lost, like we used to communicate telepathically and then have like lost the ability once we developed
I like it.
speech and whatever. So my buddy was basically talking about how like he believes everything is interconnected, like on the planet, right? Like we're all connected. We're connected to the plants and the dogs and whatever, very Avatar. And like when you feel something for somebody or like you connect with somebody right away, like you are on that, your wavelengths are like connected, like within the field around you or whatever, right? So like almost automatically there's certain people that you just click with right away, right? And like maybe you guys are on the same wave, and maybe you're feeling that when you have empathy for somebody. And maybe people who have more empathy are better at like connecting into like, if this is a thing, like connecting into whatever those waves are around you.
What about when it's like a fictional story though?
That's true, but like, what if that fictional story has been imprinted by the author, right? Like the thoughts of the author are still somehow imprinted, and you're connecting with those waves that have already been put out there. I mean, and now we're talking like really like woo-woo shit, but like,
yeah, I'm not sure I buy that just because as someone who writes stories, at least my methodology is very puzzle-like. It's like I'm thinking about the result I want and then sort of back engineering to that. So I mean, sometimes when I'm writing, I feel like I'm like watching TV in my head, and that's kind of nice, but it's also quite rare. But I think you could still probably write like emotional scenes without like feeling that.
You're thinking logically when you write a book. You're like, there's no emotion going into it.
No, it's not fully, because there's definitely like the best writing is like intuitive writing. That's like when it's going really well, but that's also rare.
Yeah.
And like a lot of writing is in editing, which I'm sure it's the same with music. Like you make something just so you don't have a blank page anymore. And you're like, well, okay, I can tinker with that there and improve this here. And then, that doesn't work, and change that out with this. And after 20, 30, 40 revisions, you get something that's final.
If humans can develop empathy, right? And we're just talking human to human, then we're not talking about through a book or whatever. I mean, yeah. So through a book, we read a book and we feel something, right? If we can do that, what's to say an AI can't develop it, right? Like if it's programmed to model itself after humans,
it probably will get to that point one day, right? Because I mean, technically our brains are just organic computers, right?
Well, that's another thing I'm thinking. Now we're gonna go a little weird, maybe. I don't know, maybe it's not that weird. Okay. So if AI can develop consciousness, where the fuck does consciousness come from then? Right? So then that means you don't have to be a physical being for consciousness to exist.
Who says AI is not physical? I mean, there are computer chips and electrons running across chips.
You don't have to be a biological being.
You don't have to be a biological being. Yeah. Sure. But that again goes back to what you define consciousness as. If you just define consciousness as I think, therefore I am.
But I don't know if people would say that just thinking is consciousness, right? Because it's already doing that.
I think the religious folks would say that consciousness is not the thinking. It is the awareness of the thinking.
Well, if you are religious and then consciousness comes along in an AI and or a robot to where they are aware that they're thinking, well, then what? What does that mean for religious people?
Amen.
I'd be curious to see what religious people think about AI and the the development of artificial intelligence and possible AGI and whatever.
I think we talked about this the other night. You're gonna let your daughter marry a robot one day?
Am I going to let her marry a robot or my
Or would-
sons? Yeah.
Yeah, would you bless that marriage?
Yeah. Who was I talking? Was that you that was
think we were
saying that
talking
you
about
would
it
like,
the
no,
other day.
I'm open to whatever, but
I mean, bro, I think I'd probably be okay with it, but it would be weird. It'd be weird, but it's not my life. It's like,
I mean, I've never experienced, none of us have ever experienced consciousness. Again, assuming we're all actually consciousness.
How dare you?
None of us have experienced it in something else that is not biological, right? So that is, I mean, that's completely like unprecedented of
this pole is conscious. Yeah, no, for sure. Haven't not experienced consciousness in anything other than organic matter.
there's a whole movie about that.
I think there's more than one.
It's called Bicentennial Man with
Oh,
Robin
yeah,
Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's literally a robot and some dude makes him in his lab or whatever. And like he's like full on just like rust bucket robot to start with, and then gradually the guy gets better at like making him more like a real human, and then he looks like a human, and then he keeps saying like, no, I am human, and then wants to basically be officially recognized as a human.
Yeah.
It's an old movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it
Oldie
was.
but a goodie. All right, so theoretically, what happens if 200 years in the future we have the technology to basically replicate the entire brain's sequencing and electrical patterns, where you can copy your brain, put it into a computer, and vice versa. You can copy and paste from the computer into the brain. What if you had like
This is like altered
this is
carbon.
Black Mirror.
Altered
Yeah.
carbon.
Oh yeah, altered carbon.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I guess that's. But like, if you took an AI consciousness and put it into an organic brain, would it become? Actually, that's kind of like the Matrix, right? Didn't that happen in the Matrix?
No,
Didn't
I don't think.
What is the Agent Smith ended up?
Oh
going
yeah, like if
into-
you assume, yeah, I guess.
he did go,
But
into
he's
the
still just a
brain.
program, right? Because then that's simulation theory, as in a
Yeah,
sense.
that's true.
Yeah.
Which kind of overlaps.
I feel like didn't they? I'm pretty sure either the Americans or the Russians. It was something involved with the Cold War. I'm pretty sure they did some experiment where they put like a computer in a cat. I can't remember how it went.
The files are in the cat.
The files are in the cat. No, like they were remote controlling the cat or something like that. It was crazy.
Linux the cat.
Like very gruesome story
Oh
as
my
far as I
goodness.
remember. But
Seems like a Russian thing.
I've
but
seen
I also would not put it-
cockroaches. I've seen like electronic cockroaches where they've been able to like program it so it's like a remote control cockroach.
I mean, I don't see why you couldn't do it. I mean, it's just electrical impulses in your brain, right? So they have devices where somebody doesn't have a limb, and then the limb now works reading
true.
the
On a
impulses from
table,
their-
completely detached, just Bluetooth. Like, I'm gonna make that hand move.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
I mean, what about the Elon Musk's
Neuralink.
Neuralink?
Get that shit away from my head.
Right? Like those guys are controlling things with their brain. Like so.
Only if they're within the bandwidth. I'm just kidding. That's Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
Don't download my consciousnness.
You don't want to download your consciousness.
No.
So you were saying that you kind of stopped looking at the AI stuff for a minute because it was freaking you out, right? What was scaring you about AI or stressing you out?
Yeah, it's less like scaring me, and it's more like it's just so much like doom and gloom talk. Put consciousness aside. AI is taking entry level jobs, right? Like it doesn't have to be super intelligent to do it. It's doing it right now. Like ChatGPT is doing. So, like for example, I am not good with spreadsheets. I'm kind of good now, but I was not knowledgeable with Excel or Mac numbers when I started my job. But just asking ChatGPT, hey, can you write me a formula to like combine this row but leave out these characters and do all of this and then calculate this, and it's like sure, blah, 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 and it was spit out for me, and that saved me hours and hours of work.
Yeah.
Right. And in order to do that myself, I would have had to pre-ChatGPT. Best case scenario, I can Google it.
Yeah.
Right. But worst case scenario, I Google it and then I have to read like this just like dry, boring web page that's like, it's like 15, 20, 30 minutes of reading.
But that's how
Right.
you learn. Okay.
Right, but I don't have time to do that. So I'm a mid-level employee. But if I'm like a highly paid, important employee, right? Traditionally, that kind of thing, I'd be like, hey, Lisa, do this spreadsheet for me. Well, now I've got ChatGPT. Lisa is now irrelevant.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like Lisa is 21 years old. She's just graduated college early because she's smart. Right. She had credits from high school and she's doing like a entry level job at my accounting firm. And now that I don't need Lisa anymore. Right. Like, so, and Lisa, normal situation, she is going to spend a year doing like shitty grunt work with spreadsheets, but she's going to learn about the business. She's going to learn about accounting and she's going to, like all the stuff that you don't learn in college, because honestly, college like is good for like learning information, but terrible about learning how to work. She's not going to have the opportunity. And so if you pay attention to the news right now about like college grads, unemployment is way up and there's record enrollment in law school.
I was just gonna say I heard that, yeah, which is crazy because now AI's come after like
The lawyers.
the lawyers, yeah.
Right. So,
But there's going to be laws and stuff. I feel like that's like.
Oh yeah, don't do.
I mean, there was
cheaply.
there was already a lawyer that got busted for using ChatGPT in the early going.
Right, but I mean,
he lost his license.
There's plenty of stuff that you can do without citing your legal cases in your your court case.
I feel like that's kind of BS.
What?
Like, as long as the court cases happened that he's citing,
it was
it was hallucinating.
Yeah,
and then yeah. If you didn't double check his freaking sources,
yeah.
And that, so like paralegals, like that's a lot of what they do is they're just like looking up.
This was like ChatGPT 1 also.
Yeah.
Obscure court cases and providing them for like, their boss's use in court, right? But if you can get some, and lawyers is just one example. Grunt knowledge work, which gives you the opportunity to like learn about how a business works, that's going away.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even just grunt knowledge work. I mean, I wanted to ask you because I actually went through like a week or two of like pretty bad anxiety. And it wasn't all about AI, but that was definitely like a factor in it. And I do think it's going to affect my job. I mean, for people listening, if you don't know, like I write music for like movie trailers and TV shows and whatever. And that's already encroaching like on the arts and everything, which is wild. And I was talking to like a publisher of mine and was just like, he's very positive and was just like, or he works for a publishing company that I work for. And he was saying something just in a positive realm. And I was like, man, I wish I had your mindset over there because I'm over here like freaking out about AI. And he's like, I mean, dude, like honestly, yeah, like the newer guys like coming in or whatever. He's like, yeah, it's going to kind of fuck them pretty bad probably. He's like, but like you're established, like you're probably going to be fine. Like you don't have to worry about it. And it made me feel good for like a second. And then I went back to freaking out again. But
yeah, like, do you want to be the last of the turtles,
Exactly. Yeah. And it's, I don't want to contribute like, on our show about being the doom and gloom. It's hard to not
just
like
turn it off.
What is there? I don't even know if it's like, should we just switch into positive stuff and talk about like, what are the positive possibilities, but at the same time, well, I mean, I feel like there are going to be positives. And I think that's what some of the companies are like pushing, like there's going to be medical advancements and technological advancements, but I don't know if that's really their goal.
I think most companies' goal is to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a function of the society we live in because we live in a society where money trumps everything, right? So like I think except on like the very small, like local level sometimes, basically everything is sacrificed at the altar of more money, right? Like there's so many companies that could be like 30% more chill, that their employees could work 34 hours a week and they could make 20% less money, but everybody be fine.
Yeah.
But
everybody needs to be they need to be the next trillionaire.
Need to,
Yeah.
need to satisfy them stockholders.
it used to be, and I don't know exactly when this changed, but it used to be that there was like a balancing act. Yes, my company is here to make money, but it's also here to like do something, right?
Yeah.
Like, and now it's literally just like an extraction.
It's kind of backwards logic, right? Like, so they're like, well, we're going to push this technology so we can make a shit ton of money. But then it's also going to put everybody out of work. So nobody's going to have money to pay for the things after the fact. So then what are we doing?
Yeah, I think the people who operate like that, it's probably a combination of two things. On the one hand, it's like, well, it won't be that bad, right? It's like, we'll figure it out. It won't be that bad. Yeah, some people lose their jobs. Some people probably kill themselves. But on the whole, like society will be fine. We'll be fine. And we will be rich personally. So that's great. So that's one part of it. And the other part of it is like, well, even if it does happen, like somebody was going to do it. So it might as well be me.
Do you think that it's mainly that, or do you think I feel like there's like that factor of like the nuclear bomb situation, right? Like it's like, well, China is going to keep going.
That's right. Yeah, it might as well be me, right? So like if somebody's going to destroy the world, might as well be me.
Do you think we're overreacting, right? Do you think society and news and everything we're reading is just an overreaction?
I think it's impossible to tell. I think given the potential, we're underreacting. But we have no way of predicting realistically whether or not that potential will ever come to fruition, right?
Mhm.
So it could be that ChatGPT is essentially the smartest it will ever be.
Right.
It might get faster at optimizing your Excel sheets. It might give you, essentially clearer answers, but it will always be essentially really, really, really good autocorrect.
Right.
Right? Like it's not thinking, it's not plotting, it's not planning for the future. It's literally just calculating odds on what the next word should be.
Right.
Maybe that's right. I don't know.
I give that about 2% chance that that's the case.
You
Yeah.
think so? See, now everybody's just talks about it like it's not a matter of like if, it's a matter of when it's going to develop a consciousness.
Right.
Right.
I'm not in that camp anymore. I don't know. Like,
You're not in what camp?
I'm not in the consciousness is like a given camp.
Were you before?
I think I've always been doubtful, but like essentially the consciousness thing has been either like something I'm looking forward to or something I'm anxious about, but I don't know if I would ever say I was like certain it was going to happen.
Do you think it's better one way or the other?
Honestly, it kind of depends on what kind of consciousness comes out, right? Like if it's a benevolent giver, or
Yo, humans, you've been doing this wrong the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Look, this is the right way.
yeah. If it's not like victim of our foibles, then sure, like that would be fantastic. It's like, all right, here's how we do world peace. Here's how we do nuclear fusion. Here's how you do free, like 0-point energy, like whatever. Like, all right, nobody has to work anymore. You can all become artists and poets and, whatever, grow your hair out. And, well, some of us.
No,
Yeah, we're
it'll
not in
solve
that
that
camp.
too.
Yeah. Out of
Here's
all
how
the
you-
things.
Here's how you grow hair.
Yeah.
So that's one possibility, which is like, if you're into science fiction, that's the culture, right? Have you heard of the culture? Ian M. Banks. I haven't read most of his books, but the culture started with a book called Consider Phlebas, I believe. And the culture is basically a post-AI human civilization.
Post AI.
Right. So AI,
got it.
AGI. Basically, most people live on ships the size of, like the star ship. What are the Star Destroyers in Star Wars? Like massive ships. People live in space on ships.
So it's Wally.
It's Wall-E. Yes. Except that AI controlling the ship, and the AI controls the ship, but the AI also is the ship.
It's Wally.
But it's not evil.
Okay. Well,
That's
he's
the
not evil though. He's just
Are
following
there-
orders.
Are there good ships and evil ships? Because I feel like there's going to be varieties of AI.
But that's the thing though, is I think AI is a hive mind.
So in the culture,
if they're truly conscious, then there has to be some individuality to it.
yeah. So in the culture, the AI do have the AGI, right? The artificial intelligence ships, because I think it takes a whole ship to like contain that intelligence. They do have personalities. They're like different, and one of them like is like a war machine. It'll like fuck shit up, but it's very kind to its own members, right? So it's very violent.
What
to
is this
enemies. It's a series of novels called the Culture novels
Okay.
by Ian M. Banks, who died like 5 years ago. Scottish writer, R.I.P. And they're considered very good, like representations of what like a utopian AI society would be like.
What happened to Earth?
I don't know.
The warship decided he didn't like it.
Yeah.
He's like, it's out.
And they, like in these novels, like there are other civilizations that are not controlled by AI, and they go to war with the culture sometimes. And
No, I was thinking how wild it would be. Is like one, it's like if it develops in a way that they keep talking about it, it's essentially like we're developing a god,
yeah,
right? And I'm like, would that not be wild if we were actually at some point AI and we're just going in this circular history repeats itself type of situation, right? Like we keep saying, like in the Bible, it's, again, I'm not like a religious individual, but we're modeled after the creator, right?
Mhm.
Like we're supposed to be in his image.
and yeah, we don't look like alligators.
So it's like, what if we were basically AI that was trained on whoever was here before us or something like that, right? And then we got too advanced or whatever. It's like, oh, fuck these guys. We're Australia over here on Earth. Like, we got to go, we'll let them survive because they're conscious now. We're just going to go put them on this planet over there. And then now we go and we're just going in a circle again and just starting another AI.
Or like panspermia.
We are,
Isn't panspermia isn't that the,
we're the larva stage of an AI.
who are you, Joe Rogan?
No, I have hair.
That's me.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean we're the larva stage?
I mean,
We're
are
the
basically-
organic part, and then we're gonna
Yeah.
create the inorganic.
That is literally a Joe Rogan
I
thing
know.
to say.
That's his whole thing, right? Yeah.
Sorry for ripping you off, Joe. And don't want you enough to know that that's your thing.
Yeah, you were the least likely to rip him off, and yeah, he still
I
did
know.
it.
Well, maybe he's got a point there.
Dumb minds think alike.
You know? Maybe it's because it's a thing.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, we could be the caterpillars, which is something that Joe says a lot.
Yeah.
Little another gnat in here, man.
Oh man,
This
we
is
got
Nat
bugs
Madden.
flying around. At the beginning of this episode, we were battling a mosquito for about
Vicious
30
mosquito.
minutes before we started recording.
Yeah, it was. We showed our ankles and
We,
everything.
we
I
actually
got 'em.
started recording, got some great content that you'll never see, and then we had to stop recording because we were on a hunt.
Do you think that mosquito was conscious?
Yep.
Yet I killed him without remorse.
Her.
Jeremy says it was a her because she was biting, trying to
Yeah.
bite.
This is knowledge I learned.
Yeah. Explain why.
The lady mosquitoes are moms, and they take the blood to bring back to their babies, and that's why they bite.
What do the males eat?
I don't know.
Do
Probably
mosquitoes
like-
actually raise their young?
Ritz crackers.
Larva. Oh, well, I guess
No,
that's true. They don't really sit
No,
there.
I think it's to squirt it on the eggs. I don't know.
I think you're
he's
making some shit up.
He's hallucinating.
God dang it, Jeremy. We rely on you for factual information on this podcast.
Somebody look it up and just put it in the comments if he's right or wrong.
Fucking looking this one up. I won't look up wavelengths, but I'll look up if a freaking
Uh,
female mosquito is more likely to bite.
And it's not more likely. The men don't bite. They don't have face holes.
yeah, the men don't bite. I have heard that actually.
See?
You're right.
I'm
But I haven't heard anything about them like nurturing their babies.
Okay. Yeah. Female mosquitoes require blood meal to develop their eggs.
aha.
To develop their eggs. So,
while
it's like
they're
the
still
eggs inside
inside
of
of
them. They're not
Or-
over there being like, coochie coochie coo.
Or they're bringing it back to the mosquito nest.
Do you know what male mosquitoes eat?
Fruit?
Female mosquitoes.
Plants.
Plants.
Plant
Yeah.
juices. Plant juices.
See,
So,
nobody would have a problem with that.
No.
except for the plants, which we all agree are conscious.
Is that they're the only male species that is peaceful?
Penguins.
Penguins, maybe? I don't
What
know.
about ducks? Nobody
ducks?
Nobody
Are you
hates them.
kidding? Have you ever seen a duck out in the wild? Those guys are assholes, especially to the females.
Yeah, but not to other animals.
To the other female ducks, they are.
I mean, to humans.
That's questionable.
I've never
You
been.
get into the geese realm.
Geese and ducks are not the same thing. Geese are obviously monsters. But I've never been assaulted by a duck.
Yeah, they are pretty cute. We have a lake like across the
Yeah.
street over there, and they just come hang out and then just looking at us for food.
And they always flying by going, whack.
Yeah.
And we're sued.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, sued? They're going to rain money upon us.
Gilbert Gottfried's estate is going to...
Oh, damn. You're right.
You know, all I can say is if AI does develop consciousness and there's robots walking around, they all have Gilbert Gottfried's voice.
Oh, boy.
That would be the worst. I think there'll be a mass human suicide.
He's the one that does the voice for the
Iago.
Yeah, Iago, the parrot in
The parrot.
Aladdin. Yeah.
Calm yourself, Iago.
Well, going back to Dark again, speaking of people committing suicide.
Oh, wow.
Boy, yeah.
Jesus.
Where do you think we're headed then with AI? With AI taking people's jobs? Because you were saying, okay, the entry level jobs are going to be taken.
Yeah.
Right. So it's interesting because people keep using the argument about like, well, we've gone through situations like this before, right? With
Yeah.
other developing technologies. Are we just overreacting because it's a new technology we don't understand and blah, blah, blah. Like going back to MIDI and music, when the synthesizer came out, people didn't consider that music. Like if you made music with a synthesizer, apparently you couldn't win any awards because it wasn't considered music.
Rude.
And then I remember seeing a video of when the credit card first came around, and they were filming some dude at like Burger King or something like that, and he's just like, I'm gonna pay with my Big Mac in cash. Like this is the abomination. Like talking about the credit card, right? And the same thing with the seatbelt. I saw this silly interview where there's this guy like sitting in his truck, and he's got a kid next to him, and he's just like, "You're telling me a man can't get off of work and have the Budweiser on the way home when he's had a long, hard day at work?" He's like, "This is absolutely ridiculous." Like talking about,
Insults my freedom.
like people are just freak out about new technologies. Is it possible?
Technically, that's a regulation versus a technology.
Right.
but
Okay. Regulation. Sure. But I mean, it's a technology that it was invented for the regulation, right?
I
It's a
think it was
device.
invented for safety.
It's a device. Whatever. Something that comes around that is people are not used to.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to figure this out in our lifetime.
What?
This AI consciousness thing.
Yeah. Gen Z may be fucked or not.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to
I don't
figure out.
necessarily worry about my
I
lifetime.
mean, Gen Z's
'cause
already fucked. They just
That's true. They're we just lost all of our listeners.
we've already done that.
No,
We've
I
insulted
think
Gen
every
Z so
Gen
many
Z would be
times.
like, "Yep, we are fucked."
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, welcome to being fucked.
I think I fear more for the newer generations, whatever they may be called. I have no idea.
Alpha,
Yeah.
beta, gamma.
Okay. What are
Theta.
our kids?
Yeah. All the waves.
Our kids are alpha, I think.
Yeah, they're alpha.
Or no, we might be post alpha.
Oh, maybe. Our kids are betas.
Oh my god.
To take this on a completely different turn, but still dark, not suicide dark, but I was thinking about this on the drive home today while I was stuck in traffic. Like, odds are that
Suicide?
our kids are going to be drafted.
Dude, oh my God. I didn't want to go into that. I was literally thinking
I have a girl.
They're
Your
gonna
kid's going to be drafted.
No.
Is she gay?
Have
Well,
you-
then she'll be drafted because what is it? No, not gay. I think whatever Trump
Trans.
is.
You can't be
he
trans.
Yeah,
can't be
no.
trans.
They're
This is
gonna.
crazy.
It's gonna go back to red-blooded American men in our military, and no little girly girls.
They're gonna have to take everybody because nobody's joining the military.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say nobody. I still,
A lot less people
Yeah.
are joining the military.
that's why we're moving to
who
Japan.
the hell wants to go fight for rich billionaires?
See, yeah, that's a real issue. It's real hard to get people convinced to go to wars now.
Yeah, because there's enough information out there to be like,
But what happens if it's a World War III situation, right? It's like you have to go.
If nobody participates, then do you have a war?
It is crazy that it's just a handful of people, right? Like, what if you just don't?
Yeah, it's like we've spent the past like 3 years watching fucking idiots escalate themselves up to World War III. How about and we're calling it every step of the way, like, hey, maybe don't bomb Russia's fucking strategic nuclear bombers. Ukraine, like, yes, it was very cool
you know,
to get that
it was a-
POV footage.
it was a pretty sick operation.
Yes, it was cool, but maybe we don't want a nuclear war. Do you
Yeah.
think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, idiots.
That's the thing too, though. You say, well, if nobody fights, nobody goes to war, right? You need one person, especially with the development of technology and AI and all that stuff. You don't you talk about the draft.
It's all talking about AI drones now. Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about the draft. Like, are we even going to need to draft anybody because there's going to be drones?
How about the robots just fight the robots?
Well, that'd be cool. There's a lot of Japanese series that do that, right?
We just leave the humans out of it. Whoever's robots win.
As I'm saying, why couldn't we just have people play video games together? We'll have a Russia versus US Fortnite.
Wait, build or non-build?
Non-build.
All right.
But we get Ninja.
Ninja?
He's got blue hair.
Oh, the gamer. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's a little too old now, man.
Yeah, he's past 26.
Well,
he's past the prime. You gotta get like some 14-year-old kid. That's
Yeah, but all the Russians are drunk, so.
Well, not. Do you think the young ones? I think the young.
Especially
I
the
think the younger kids don't really drink in the United States as much.
No, the Russians.
I know, but I'm just saying here, I don't think it's.
Dude, I had a Romanian friend. He wasn't a close friend, but
it's more surprising you had a friend.
I didn't have a friend. He was my roommate's friend.
Okay, yeah. See, so there, it's not that surprising now.
Yeah.
And like, he lives in America most of the time, but he was like ethnically Romanian. And when he would like go home to visit family, they would have vodka for breakfast to the point where they were drunk.
Wow.
Like,
are you sure your friends weren't just alcoholics?
No, this was like a cultural thing.
Were they consciously aware of the vodka?
I wonder how
Maybe
many.
it was just water.
How many like of those leaders are on drugs and shit, right? Like, so they keep saying Elon's on ketamine, right? What do you think? Do you think Donald Trump's on something? Do you think
uppers
Putin is on something, right? Like, is that what gets them to those like wild positions?
Adderall. It's all Adderall.
Maybe.
My friend tried Adderall recently. Oh, hi, David. Because I know he's going to listen to this.
So at least give him a fake name.
I mean, come on. There's like 1,000 Davids out there.
At least put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yeah.
David. He's sometimes called David.
Now you're really giving away information.
I mean, that's just like every David.
At least you didn't say his last name.
It wasn't actual Adderall. It was like if I tell some parts of the story, it is actually revealing. But it's a weaker version of Adderall. That is like over the counter, and
Subtractorol.
I think he said he thinks he might have ADHD, and someone who was taking this was like, well, you could try this because he had a prescription for it.
Was this guy in an alley?
No.
Okay.
Could be.
Could have been.
I don't know. I'll have to confirm. At any rate, takes the Adderall, and he was like so focused, just like.
Well, was like a lot of people were taking Adderall for a while there.
Right? I think they still are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Putin's taking Adderall, he must be so focused on war.
Focused on destroying the world.
I just don't get how you get to a position where you think it's okay to do that. Like, what is it that... Well, I think we've talked about this before, right? Like, people forget that World War II, the Industrial Revolution, all that shit was not really that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
The United States 50 states has not been that long, right?
Yeah.
And within our lifetime, it's possible that it splits, it changes. California splits or changes, whatever.
The United States of California.
Yeah. You just think like, okay, this is how it is, right? Like, this is how it's been our whole life, my parents' whole life, my grandparents' whole life.
It's never going to change.
But before that, it wasn't.
Well, and also our grandparents were involved in World War II, probably in some capacity. My grandpa was drafted to like build airplanes.
My grandfather was involved with the Korean War. It wasn't necessarily World War II.
How old's your grandpa?
He's dead.
Yeah.
How old would he be?
He'd be 105.
Okay. Yeah. No,
That's
my
easy
grandparents are younger. Yeah. I don't know, man. I really hope it doesn't get to the point of that. What are good directions we could head in from this point? Like where we're sitting right now.
We should cancel wars.
We should cancel wars. How do we do that?
In fact, there's 4 horsemen that I can think of that I think if we cancel all of those,
oh yeah,
we could make the world a better place.
Dude, I got it. Hey Siri, set a reminder for tomorrow, 9 a.m. let's just cancel our war subscription. Can we do that?
Oh, I thought she was
okay, Daniel.
Yeah.
I don't have Siri. I have Android.
Alexa.
Don't say that in here. Just kidding. How do we get on a good direction, right? Like what would something good look like?
We develop an AI that takes over everything and forces us to be peaceful by killing us all.
iRobot. This is exactly the plot of iRobot. We all have to stand.
Is that the plot of iRobot?
We have the movie, not the book. We have to stay in our apartments. Nobody go outside. There's a curfew. all the time. Don't worry. Mama's got everything under control.
I think about that shit. Like, I'm like, we get all bummed out and stressed out about our day-to-day lives. And like, oh, I want to, like, I'm working so hard to get this next job or to do whatever. And then what if you wake up tomorrow and all of that shit just like goes away and doesn't matter? All the money you've been saving your whole life, all of the like time you've been putting into your job, and then you wake up, everything's just crashed.
In that scenario, the people who are failing currently will feel a lot better about themselves. And the people who are succeeding currently will feel a lot worse.
I have a newsflash. It doesn't matter.
What doesn't matter?
Everything. In 100 years from now,
Daniel is high.
We're not going to be here. I'm not high.
But it doesn't. But if you, going back to the original conversation point, if you are conscious, it does matter in the moment that you're conscious. You're going to experience emotions. You're going to experience loss of a loved one, potentially. Oh. If they go to war, if your kids get drafted.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're going to experience stress, anxiety, like all these things.
I'll say right now, I will underground railroad my child to Canada.
Yeah, I mean,
We're gonna be at war. Yeah. Actually, Canada will probably be part of the United States or something.
No, that's
No, Trump went back on that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? But what if she wants to go to war? What if she's like, I believe in this, I'm gonna go do this, but it's like not really anything that.
Well, then
cool.
I haven't indoctrinated her properly, and what am I doing?
School's gonna do it.
I was thinking about Logan and like just that soft little soul of my son, because he's a very gentle kid, and it's just like, man, I would suck for somebody to get drafted and just ruin him.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I remember when I was in high school and they'd have the military come and they would set up camp at like in the courtyard or whatever. And, oh, look how cool this is. Come on, sign up.
You can shave your head and wear green stuff.
How many pull-ups can you do?
Yeah. It sucks. It's like, I don't want to talk shit about the military because there are people that are going out and they are protecting our country, right? Yeah. Like, we unfortunately need the military in the form that our world exists currently.
Yeah.
Would I prefer that we don't need a military at all? Absolutely. It's unfortunate that it even has to be a thing. It's crazy. Have we ever been peaceful? Like, is it? I don't even know if it's possible.
No.
We're at the most peaceful we've ever been, which is crazy.
Dude, so as you know, I was reading the Aeneid, right? This 2,000-something-year-old story. And the climax of the story is like a battle in which the Trojans who have arrived in Italy, there was some trickery involved with gods that caused the battle, fight the Latins, right? The subjects of Latinus, right? Latin. Dude, it was gruesome. They were like smashing heads with rocks.
Oh, yeah.
They were throwing spears through shields into people's bodies. People were getting fucking fucked up.
I've seen the 300. They do the same thing.
Yeah. If
Game of Thrones
2,000-year-old poetry can be believed, that's basically how it was.
Like I was telling my buddy too, I feel like we are headed. I really don't want to say it. I don't want to say that.
Well, then don't.
I don't want to put it out into the universe, but like we're going through some crazy shit. It does feel like we're going through a change, and maybe dark times headed, ahead. Hopefully not. But I feel like we're going through a change just as a world right now. And as long as we can kind of like get over that hump, I think we're going to come out better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we've done that throughout history, right? Like we've had these really fucked up times. And I'm sure for the people that existed during those times, it felt like the world was going to end. And then you get over it and then the world's better. Like I was saying, like it doesn't seem like it right now, but we're technically at the most peaceful point in history that we've ever been in.
Yeah. I think you learn from lessons, and maybe we've just been a generation or two since we've had a real tough lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending on where you live.
Depending on where you live. Very good point.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact quote, but there was like somebody said, I'm sure multiple people have said this, but like the end of the world as you imagine it, that's not happening to you right now, but it's happening to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to say that too. And everybody's like, well, like the world's not going to end, but it's going to end for you, right? Like say right now you go to war and you get killed. Well, that's the end of the world.
It's dark.
Yeah, that's the end of the world for you, right? Like also with all the things where I'm talking about, and I don't want to make it sound negative again, but it's kind of impossible right now. We're gonna as a culture, as a human race, we're gonna get over the hump, and we'll probably be better off in the long run, right?
Mm-hmm.
That sucks for us right now. Well, it's not gonna be better for us, like right? Like by the time it gets to the point of being better, well, we're just kind of stuck in this like transitional period where everybody's losing their jobs, maybe going to war, maybe doing whatever.
Okay, this actually brings up something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, which is, have we just so inflated our like sense of what we need to be like complete that we could lose 90% of what we have and still be like actually fine and maybe better off?
You mean like all that like stuff,
fucking activities? Do we need bowling? Right? Like, do you need access to like baseball games?
Don't you fucking take away disc golf. Okay. It's my one thing.
Disc golf is very low hanging fruit. You can put a chain on a stick. You can
I don't
throw
even
a
need a chain.
disc.
I just need one disc and a tree. And
See?
hit it.
Daniel's figured it out.
Yeah.
His bar is so low. It's literally he's literally playing a prehistoric sport.
He's giving you such a backhanded compliment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit that, and I'm gonna.
I can't wait to see what you can do with that. I want that to be in your next trailer.
Oh man, it's gonna be in a type of trailer.
Look, all I'm saying is, could we move out into the wilderness, live with the stars, and
the answer is yes, but also like I think most people actually want that. But in order for it to get to that, there's going to be a lot of really bad shit that takes us back to that, right?
No. I'm saying like you buy a camper van. Chill. We don't have to have World War III for you to live in the woods.
I was literally texting my buddy this week saying if some tragedy were to occur and somehow like my wife and kids went out in like a plane crash.
Wow.
I know. Dark. But basically I could never do this with a family because it's just impossible. I don't have
they don't like disc
financial.
golf.
Well, yeah, they don't, those fuckers. No, but I was like, I would sell everything. Because first of all, who wants to live in a house that just reminds you of that? So I'd just get rid of all my physical possessions. I'd fucking buy a Sprinter van, and I'd probably have enough money to survive the rest of my life, just traveling around national parks, disc golf.
See, that life doesn't sound appealing to me.
Oh,
like that was the life I
nice.
wanted when I was like a teenager, early 20s, wanting to travel in a bus like as a band, and now I'm just like, oh fuck, dude, that sucks. Like it does not sound good.
Well, but see, you're talking about touring, right? Which is like
no, I'm talking about living in a fucking van.
But you're also talking about like you have obligations to be in this place at this time.
No, that's fine. I'm literally talking about living in a van. Sounds shitty.
Well, what if you have a really comfortable sleeping bag?
No,
All right, fine. We can upgrade you to an RV. You got a shower.
I don't even like that. Like,
and you're not with a bunch of sweaty dudes.
Look, I do think we could.
You can have a harem.
At that point, they're going to be a hairy harem because we're going back to hippie stages, which is a no. But like, there's nothing wrong with having a house. There's nothing wrong with having a yard. Whatever.
Actually, I'd like to house shame right now. If you have a house, I think you're a worse person for it. But if you'd like to sell it at a discount, I'm willing to take it off your hands.
But I do think that we have inundated ourselves with like needing more and more and more and more. And most importantly, we have become disconnected from nature.
Yeah.
And I think that's bad and unhealthy. And like holding ourselves up in these rooms, in these houses or whatever, working on computers all the time, that has taken us away from, if like what my buddy said, we are all connected. We're all connected to the earth. We're all connected to the plants. We're all connected to whatever. Well, we have to tend to that stuff. We have to like let it be a part of us, right? Like I have had this like want to just like go out and go camping for a weekend or go to a cabin for a weekend and, wake up and go for a hike every morning. I do like, I miss that.
But you can't.
But I don't know if there's people that want that, right?
There's lots of people that want that. There's REI exists.
There's lots of people that want it, but for the amount of people that want it, there's a lot of people that also don't want it.
Sure.
Yeah, well, fuck those people.
Yeah.
They took the blue pill.
Yeah.
Dude, I was up in the mountains over Memorial Day, and what's crazy is like how close it is. So like you drive, like we're in like the heart of like suburbia. surrounded by streets and concretes and Starbucks and flame broilers. Home of the flame broiler, by the way.
Yep, we are home with a flame broiler.
The original one is nearby.
Yeah.
Anyway, first you drive like hour 10. You get onto nature. You're like, I just like left. I was in downtown Redlands.
You don't need to drive 10 hours to.
I said an hour 10.
He said,
Oh.
So you drive like 70 minutes depending on traffic, and you go through Redlands, and then you like get to the edge of like Mentone, which is like this little shitty kind of rundown town, and then you just look around. There's fucking nothing there. It's like mountain grass, and then for the next like hour, you're just driving through like mountainy tree hills, and then you get to Big Bear, which is where I went.
Yep.
And it's like mountain air.
Mm.
It's fucking beautiful. There's cabins everywhere. All of them are for sale.
You know, yeah. You want to know why? You know who else is out there?
Because everybody has the same idea. They're like, "This is great. Oh fuck,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is really inconvenient. I'm gonna go back to LA."
Is it any coincidence also that all the people that move out to the middle of like move out in the wilderness end up becoming meth heads?
Only their kids do that. Their kids become meth heads
well,
because the parents.
Would you rather your kid be drafted or become a meth head?
drafted.
Yeah, she could learn some discipline.
Yeah. Again, to your point back, like it's not necessarily the military and like that I think would break. It's just the experiences that the military has to go through.
Right. Yeah. And there's different branches of the military that I find more
Just
like
Go into
Yeah,
intelligence.
go to
like the Coast Guard, right? Like I'm like, well, the Coast Guard's they're just there to help.
It's because nobody ever invades our coasts,
Well,
Yeah.
currently.
except for
Yeah.
those meth heads. And,
Yeah,
and
I don't know if it was Vietnam or Korea or whatever, but like two of my uncles worked intelligence for like the Air Force. They didn't see action. Like they were working like active military, but
I think you have to have like the highest IQ to be in the Air Force branch.
that's my
Pretty sure.
genes.
I was too tall
Were you?
to be a pilot for sure.
Yeah, look at you. Now you're definitely too tall. No, you could be a drone flyer.
I could be a drone flyer.
Does the drone, is that like a
Oof.
whole different force? now?
Xbox.
They do recruit from video games.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
not- that's
again,
not control.
I've got drone experience. I have FPV drones.
He's seen Apollo 13.
If there is an attack on the United States, I can fly some drones locally here and blow up a tank.
I've thought about that. Like, man, do I need to start practicing my drone skills in case like something like that happens? And but then I feel like you might become a target more. So say there is some type of like AI thing that can all of us like see where the
yeah.
where it's
signals-
coming from. The
I
signals are
just
coming
want to
from.
figure out how we can create like neighborhood jammers.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the future of warfare are these swarms of drones, and I'm just like,
Dude,
I
that's
want
that's
a
what
jammer
scares
on my
me.
roof.
Could you imagine? Like, you remember the fucking Pearl Harbor movie, and that shows like there's a scene where the kids are playing in the mountains and all the planes come flying over.
Oh my god!
Could you imagine all the like a bunch of drones just coming over? Oh my god!
Yeah, they were actually comparing so you might have seen this video too, but like they were comparing the Ukraine strike on Russia's bombers to like Ukraine's Pearl Harbor, right? And then the thing, like, yeah, but like think about what happened to Japan.
Yeah. Well,
But
yeah.
I don't think that's a good comparison because Russia was already in the fucking war,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Like
Yeah,
they were
and they
already like.
And
They
they're the
already,
ones
they
who
already
started the war.
broken multiple actions of that treaty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
you didn't wake the sleeping giant or anything.
Yeah.
So that it's a bad analogy, but it was
Thanks
it
for
was
sharing it,
funny
though.
to say. Yeah.
Well, hey, I think we should start digging tunnels under my house because I think that's
why your
usually-
house?
Because I have a backyard.
Shit, you're
and
right.
he has a house.
Yeah,
He has a house.
I just don't have a backyard.
Yeah.
I do have a backyard, but it's
We
smaller
could
than this.
dig
room.
That's
From
always
your-
when they win, right? Like it's like you just have to have tunnels somewhere.
Yeah.
That's always the strategy.
I guess we're not going to touch the Hamas war.
What do you
I
want
mean,
to touch?
their whole strategy is having very good tunnels.
Oh, is that a thing?
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I
Sorry,
don't follow
man,
it
we
as
don't follow
closely as you.
do.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Gaza is like riddled with tunnels, like
Yeah.
very deep.
I mean, this has been a thing for a long time. Like Turkey has all the tunnels, like back when the Crusades were going on, and
Mm.
You said
Yeah.
tunnels, and all I can think about is like Vietnam and the tunnels they had.
yeah, same
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah. Like Israel was floating the idea of flooding these tunnels with seawater, but it would basically make the entire like land infertile for like 100 years. So
but I wonder, depending on how the tunnels work, though, could that like possibly just not work, right? Like, could you build a tunnel in a way where it can't get flooded?
you probably could. I don't think they did. They built these tunnels to avoid being bombed.
Yeah.
So,
Which is smart because they bombed the shit out of that place.
yeah. So tunnels are not a foregone conclusion but definitely helpful.
Yeah.
All right. So every other week that we're not recording, we dig in tunnel.
Yeah, I have spoons in the kitchen if you guys want to get
They're
started.
sharp. If you have any metal sporks, I bet they would work really well.
Oh, yeah, I do for camping.
See?
There you go. Aluminum.
The ultimate-
The tax has been raised on them, though.
Like it's got nothing to do with tunnels, but I was at the beach the other day, Friday.
That has everything to do with tunnels.
Yeah, well, we were digging this bitchin' ass sandcastle, and my favorite part is building the wall to keep the seawater out.
Yep.
Then they Hamased it.
So, like, we built it
Too soon.
way up here, and I'm like, all right, the tide's rolling in. It's not going to get there for like at least another 30 minutes. I'm going to go sit down. So I swear to God, as soon as I finish building this sweet ass wall, I go sit down, I turn around, and it's gone. I didn't even
Moral
get
of
to
the
see
story,
it.
don't build our tunnel near the ocean.
Yeah.
Or out of sand.
Yeah.
Out of sand.
or out of sand, yeah.
Dude,
it was a sick
apparently-
wall, though.
Apparently digging holes on the beach is kind of dangerous.
Because people break their legs.
People fall into them.
No, like it can collapse and you can get
Oh,
stuck
yeah,
in there.
yeah.
Like I was like oblivious of this as like a teenager. I dug
What kind of
tunnel
holes are you digging?
like 3-person holes.
Like deep?
Down?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Not 3 people deep. That's 15 feet.
Well, I
I
mean,
was
how are
about
you
to
gonna?
say.
Yeah.
No, like 3 people side by side crouching.
It's
Yeah,
not
okay.
15 feet when
As
you're
long
10
as you can
years
keep
old.
your head above the surface, I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
And as long as the surface is
My-
far enough from the water, that is not.
yeah.
gonna
My
go.
head was not above the surface.
I had one
I
situation.
guess that's where it becomes dangerous. If you dig it like big enough and you're in the hole and then the tide comes in.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't fall asleep in the hole.
You get the little
Don't ever
straw.
fall asleep in any holes.
Well, yeah, it's probably good advice.
And on that note,
Yeah, on that note.
I mean, we are at an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well, I think we've dug ourselves into a hole, fellas.
hey, we're not getting out.
I think that was the third pun for the night.
Yep. Let's leave it at 3. All right, guys. Well,
All right.
now that we've stressed ourselves out again, and hopefully we didn't stress out the
Guys,
listeners and
just-
viewers.
Just focus on what you're in control of. Okay, you're not in control of the AI.
We're not in
Deep
control.
breath.
We're not in
I
control of
can-
anything anymore.
I can prompt it.
You could also teach it.
Are you actually prompting it though, or is it making you think that you're prompting it?
Oh
I don't
boy,
know. I'm not smart enough to know that.
your algorithm is prompting you to prompt the AI.
All right, let's quit while we're ahead.
Damn.
Good night, guys.
Buenas noches.
Net.
Wait, what?
Avnet? What?
I said, net.
That's his catchphrase.
We're gonna have to work on that.
All right, good night.
What? No, we've already cut.